Straight ahead on 12 News, a team excited for a coach.
I can't even describe how proud I am of him.
And the lesson that coach gave to his team. Then, the great Floss debate. Local dentists react to a government study that doesn't stand behind flossing. But first, trimming the field of candidates will take you to the cities where there's a lot of trimming to be done. 12 News starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. It is primary day across Minnesota and here in the Northwest Metro.
In Brooklyn Center, voters will narrow down the field from 7 candidates down to 4 for 2 open city council seats. It's also a crowded field in Brooklyn Park, where 7 candidates are vying for 1 seat to serve the West District. Brooklyn Park voters will trim that field of 7 candidates down to 2. And we get more now from Eric Nelson at the polls.
Lower voter turnout than Election Day in November. We stopped by 2 precincts today, one in Brooklyn Center and one in Brooklyn Park, to find out if that's the case again.
We've had about 46 voters so far. We have 2,300 registered in this precinct, so right now we're about 2%. I think we typically get between 100, 200 for a typical primary, so we're kind of on track for that.
This is where we decide who's actually on the final ballot. This is where you find out who your choices are, and if you want to have a say in that, you need to vote in the primary.
We talked to a number of voters today, and there are many issues that concern them. Here are some of the topics they want to see addressed.
I think the minimum wage probably should go up some, but I don't think it should go to $15 right away, maybe.
Security, terrorism, you know, they're spending money like it's going out of style.
Helping schools, but that's a tough thing nowadays with all the diverse languages and all that, but they need some help.
I hear a lot about the issues with the police. Those of us who are white and have had the privilege all of our lives of never being discriminated against is we're the ones that really need to stand up and say, hey, this wouldn't be any fun to live like this. Try it for a day.
So as you heard, there are many issues that concern voters. And now the election season really kicks off as things will heat up between now and November. Back to you, Alex and Mike.
All right, thanks, Eric. And the polls are open until 8 o'clock Tuesday night. You can look for results of the local races in a crawl along the bottom of your screen right here on Channel 12.
It was during a lunch meeting in 2010 with the late Brooklyn Park Mayor Steve Lampe that John Jordan thought seriously about running for city council. Lampe died 2 months later of lung cancer, and Jordan would go on to win election in 2012. Now, an emotional journey on the city council will soon come to an end.
It's been an honor to represent the people of Brooklyn Park. I can tell you that I think we fulfilled Steve's goals, that I always told the truth, but I always did my best to represent everyone fairly.
And Jordan announced that he will leave his council seat at the end of the month. He and his wife are downsizing and moving to a different city. It just so happened a Brooklyn Park senior study came out just last month when Jordan contended that the city lacked housing options for empty nesters like himself. When the school year starts, Wayzata High School will have an Olympic medalist on its staff.
Wayzata boys swimming coach David Plummer won a bronze medal in the men's 100-meter backstroke. And as you can imagine, there are plenty of people excited about his victory. Here's reporter Sonia Goins.
It was an exciting thing.
School is out, but there's plenty of excitement at Wayzata High School. Many folks are talking about David Plummer's Olympic bronze medal.
He might be a bronze swimmer, but he's a gold medal person. He's just a quality person.
30-year-old Plummer has coached the Trojans for 3 years. Monday night, his swim team gathered to watch him perform on the world stage.
That came up on the screen, and then I just went crazy.
One family in particular has a close connection with Coach Plummer.
My senior year of high school was Plummer's first year coaching the team.
Kevin Stowe says that year was magical because Plummer took the team to the state championship.
We won, and yep, the first championship in Wayzata school history.
His brother Brian is a senior and also swims for Wayzata.
I swim mostly the shorter distance, 50 free and 100 free.
And brother Casey's specialty is the backstroke.
I swam on the team last year, and I'll be swimming on the team this year again.
All three were among a group who drove to Omaha to support Plummer during the Olympic trials.
I can't even describe how proud I am of him.
They say Coach Plummer is a great swimmer, but he doesn't make waves about
Yeah,
it.
he always talks about tempo. That's one thing that he always focuses on, try to get us to do, and that's what he has mastered over his career.
Plummer taught them that perseverance pays off. He didn't qualify for the 2012 Olympics, but that didn't stop him from pursuing his dream.
Finally seeing him cap off all this work and get a bronze medal, it was just a relief that all that hard work has finally paid off for him.
They say Coach Plummer inspires them not only to be good athletes, but good men.
And to see him do what he's taught us to do on the highest stage of swimming is something that we'll never forget.
In Plymouth, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
The Wayzata boys and girls swim teams will both have Olympic star power. Heather Arcess will be a part-time coach for the Wayzata girls team. And she is an Olympic swimmer right now, representing the East African island nation of Mauritius.
Speaking on education today in Brooklyn Park, Minnesota's Lieutenant Governor says, quote, "We can't keep doing things the same old ways." Tina Smith appeared at a school administrators conference. Smith says education spending in real dollars is still less than in 2002. She also says Minnesota continues to grapple with teacher shortages. Smith says schools can't be a cure-all for all of society's ills.
We look to our schools to solve these social ills and educate our children. And when they can't, we blame them, and then we argue that money must not be the solution because, look, we're spending more money and it's not helping. And this is the kind of circular logic that is getting us absolutely nowhere, and we have got to stop it.
Smith pointed out that 13% of Minnesota children live in poverty. That's 177,000 children. That's why she says the Dayton administration continues to push for expanding child care assistance and increasing funding for early childhood education.
It is demolition week at a longtime masonry company in Brooklyn Park. Concrete manufacturing equipment and buildings at the Anchor Block site on County Road 81 in Brooklyn Boulevard are all coming down. Another construction company called Ramsey Excavating bought the 40-acre property. Their projects have included Target Field. The company will build office and warehouse buildings and store materials such as rock, sand, and concrete at the site.
Area school kids will have a chance to get their hands dirty and learn about what it takes to keep up a new community garden. It's the Mabel Hyde Curry Memorial Garden located outside the New Hope Hy-Vee store. The new garden is full of vegetables and fruits that area school kids will tend to and produce that will be used for kids' cooking classes held on the weekends at Hy-Vee. The garden was dedicated today in memory of Mabel Hyde Curry, who lived in the Twin Cities and was an educator and nutritionist, and also the daughter of Hy-Vee co-founder Charles Hyde.
This is a great opportunity for us to be a bigger part of the community, be able to reach out. One of our big pillars is health and wellness. Allows our dietitians to talk more about health and wellness and work with the kids on a deeper level.
Mabel Hyde Curry died in 2014 at age 94, just months before the first Hy-Vee store opened in the Twin Cities metro. Well, coming up, to floss or not to floss? Hear what dentists have to say about a new government report.
And then a little bit later in sports, hear from a former Wayzata standout who is primed for a big season with the Gopher football team.
But first, remaining hot and muggy, temperatures could reach 90 degrees on Wednesday.
Any dentist will tell you you need to brush and floss to take care of your teeth.
But the federal government doesn't seem to agree with the flossing part of that recommendation. And in today's Health Check report, Elaine Cleveland looks at the great flossing debate.
During every visit to Bassett Creek Dental in Golden Valley, the staff members provide patients with tools to keep their teeth clean. One of those tools is dental floss.
It's a very safe thing, it's a very easy thing to do, and there's very little to no risk of doing it.
Dr. Todd Suchia recommends that his patients brush twice a day and floss at least once a day to remove plaque, which is basically a buildup of bacteria.
And if you remove the bacteria on a regular basis, then you run less of a risk that the bacteria causes problems. Most prevalent is decay or cavities, as well as periodontal disease or gum disease.
That's according to his professional opinion. But earlier this month, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services removed flossing as a recommended practice for people's daily health.
That particular governmental organization requires a very high level of study and scrutiny. A very high level of data is needed. And so they couldn't find that data.
Without that data on flossing, then it doesn't make the federal government's list.
It was surprising to me, as well as most of the dental community, to have that change.
Despite that change, as far as Dr. Suchia is concerned, just because the feds don't recommend flossing, that doesn't give people the okay to stop doing it altogether.
In my discussions, at least in our local level in our office, people understand the depth of what that study truly means. Doesn't mean to not do it. It's that the importance of cleaning the plaque from in between the teeth needs to continue to be done.
In Golden Valley, Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
Critics to flossing point to some of the current research. Some studies were too short to determine the long-term impact of flossing, while other studies were designed by the floss companies themselves. The dentists say proper studies need both funding and time. Well, coming up, Minnesota Lynx players visit Maple Grove during their Olympic break.
But first, a former Osseo football player is featured in this week's edition of The Next Level. John Jacobson has that and much more when we come back.
Well, we saw some of the swim team that David Plummer coaches, but it's so cool to have him bringing home a medal from the Olympics.
You know, and he was so close 4 years ago and wasn't sure if he was going to go on. He did, and mission accomplished,
yeah,
I guess.
Really.
Yes. After just missing out qualifying for the London Games in 2012, David Plummer met his goal of reaching the Olympic Games in Rio. The Wayzata High School boys swimming coach is bringing a medal home with him. Plummer won the bronze Monday night in the men's 100-meter backstroke. The former Gophers All-American finished with a time of 52.4 seconds, a tenth of a second faster than he swam the night before in the semifinals. His U.S. teammate Ryan Murphy won gold, setting an Olympic record with a time of 51.97 seconds. Plummer coached the Wayzata boys to the 2013 State Class AA Championship. While high school football players in the area will hit the field next week to begin practice, college teams are already in workouts. As Jay Wilcox reports, a local product is looking for a big season for the University of Minnesota.
It's getting to be that time. Football's in the air, and Gophers junior tight end Brandon Lingen, a Wayzata graduate, is pumped up.
If I had to sum it up in one word, it'd be excited. I know this team's worked really hard in the off season. And I'm really excited. Just each and every practice, trying to get a little bit better and better. So then September 1st, when Oregon State comes to town, we're able to play at our best.
The Gophers had one of a handful of open to the public practices Tuesday with some full contact 11-on-11 work. Lingen likes the concept.
Definitely cool to let the fans come in and see how hard we are working, and then for even some of the young guys, just being around some fans too. So get that little extra pressure, a little bit more of a live feeling, like a little bit more of a game day. Definitely helps out some of those younger guys who haven't been in live situations before.
Two of those young guys, incoming freshman linebacker Thomas Barber, an Armstrong graduate, and wide receiver Philip Howard from Cooper. After a solid sophomore season in which he earned honorable mention All Big Ten status and caught 33 passes, Brandon Lingen's on the preseason watch list for the Mackey Award given to the nation's top tight end.
It's an awesome honor. It's a really cool thing to be recognized for that, but at the end of the day, that's not what it's about. It's about coming out here, practicing with my teammates, getting better, and ultimately winning games on Saturday.
Brandon's been rehabbing a shoulder injury and hasn't been in full contact work. It's not easy to watch.
It's tough. I'm a competitor just like all these guys out here, and I want to be out there. I want to be playing, and it's not up to me at this point. I'm just controlling what I can control, rehabbing as hard as I can, and just getting ready for September 1st.
With the Gophers, Jay Wilcox, 12 Sports.
The Gophers have 3 more open to the public practices this week, Friday and Saturday morning at the football complex, and Saturday at 4 p.m. at TCF Bank Stadium. Joey Sonnenfeld was a standout football and basketball player at Augsburg College. Jason Milillo profiles the Osseo alum in this week's The Next Level.
Joey Sonnenfeld's 3 seasons playing wide receiver at Augsburg College were phenomenal. Sonnenfeld caught 210 passes for 3,550 yards and 39 touchdowns, putting him in the top 5 in school history in those categories.
At the college level, compared to high school, it's a big difference. So just working on all like the little things, route running and all those types of things, I think I really evolved as a player, and a receiver especially, just on the little things.
Out of high school, Sonnenfeld went to football powerhouse North Dakota State University, but transferred to Augsburg after 2 years in Fargo.
I came in as a safety there, wanted to play safety, either receiver or safety, and first spring ball they switched me to linebacker, thought I'd give it a shot for a year. Played it for a year, you know, I just didn't love the position exactly, didn't think I was going to be successful, so I tried to get switched to receiver, it didn't happen.
Sonnenfeld starred in football and basketball at Osseo, and transferring to Augsburg offered the chance to play both sports at the college level.
It reminded me of Osseo, just the blue-collar type attitude. I really liked it. It was a small school, which I really liked, but at the same time, it was in a big city. So that was one of the biggest reasons I picked Augsburg.
Sonnenfeld capped his time as a college football player with 12 touchdowns last fall and was named first team All-MIAC and to the D3Football.com All-West Region first team. He has 1 semester left at Augsburg and will graduate with a degree in education. Jason Malillo, 12 Sports.
Sonnenfeld basically took the spring semester of his senior year off to attend pro football tryout camps. Nothing came of those tryouts, so he'll be doing his student teaching this fall. He'll also be coaching at Osseo as the offensive coordinator for the Orioles sophomore team and helping out with the JV and varsity teams as well. So kind of coming home to help coach and help teach as well.
Yeah, and why not try out? Now I can inspire younger kids,
That's
right? Thanks a lot, John.
Yep.
Still ahead, Minnesota Lynx players try out a new game during their Olympic break.
We'll show you in just a minute. And finally, so some of your teammates are away playing at the Olympics.
So what do you do if you're a Minnesota Lynx player? Well, if you're Rebecca Brunson, you head to Maple Grove to play a little whirly ball. The 2015 WNBA Championship Lynx team and other staff blew off a little steam playing whirly ball, which combines bumper cars with basketball, lacrosse, and hockey. The team is still training during this 1-month Olympic break, and they're pretty proud that head coach Cheryl Reeve and 4 Lynx players, Sylvia Fowles, Simone Augustus, Lindsay Whalen, and Maya Moore, are all banking big wins in Rio for Team USA.
We've had a lot of success. We're used to our players being involved in the Olympics, so it's nothing new for us. But so it's just a matter of us just, supporting them by watching the games, and it's so much fun to see them do their thing, but then still do our work back here in Minneapolis.
All 4 Lynx players in Rio were part of the 2012 Olympic team that won gold in London. And if they could see their teammates back home in Minneapolis, they'd wonder, right?
What are they doing?
A little bit too much fun over there.
And is that a zone defense, John? Could you recognize that?
Good question. That's all for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
And we will see you back here again Wednesday starting at 4.